Saan? Hello? Ay, baka gusto nyong itry itong mga different locally designed board games under yung Larong Atin. Hello? Ay, baka gusto nyong itry itong mga different locally designed board games under yung Larong Atin. Hello? Ay, baka gusto nyong itry itong mga different locally designed board games under yung Larong Atin.
Hi there, Ron here of Variable Play, and welcome to Larong Atin. And we are joined by Daryl. And
Hello.
hello. So,
Hello.
so
Good
I,
evening.
I don't think my
everyone.
daughter can hear. It's okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
She can say hi though. Yeah.
Hi.
I thought so.
So we have our special guest, also a special guest.
Yeah.
Okay, so yay, thank you everyone. Jeffrey is super early. He was ahead of the stream.
Mhm.
Hi. Hi, Rap. Hi, Mark. Yeah,
Hello,
okay.
everyone.
So today we'll be featuring, of course, Daryl from Origame.
Mhm.
And while that is the case, I think we can start with some quick warm up of what's going on. It is more on what games have you guys recently played?
Yeah.
And just the usual. Oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice, nice. I like that. Okay. So maybe we can start with Dwayne.
Dwayne.
What game have you recently played?
We've been playing one thing.
Oh, you've been playing one thing.
It's Star Wars Unlimited. It's here finally. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. We've been waiting for it for a while now. So then now that it's here, we've been spending so much time. Yeah, so it's basically a trading card game, but it's FFG's trading first trading card game in a long, or
Yeah.
almost for
Yeah.
yeah.
like since the old Game of Thrones
Yeah. This is their last one was Game of Thrones.
a long time ago before they went LCG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Game of Thrones was like 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, when it was a
Oh, the first one, the
TCG.
first one, the DCG
Yeah,
one.
it's probably 20 years ago or more.
So, a quick explanation is it plays a bit like WoW, like
World of
Hearthstone.
Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like lose 30 life you lose type of games. So it's pretty much standard. But the nice thing about it is again it plays a bit like WoW. So okay, so the gameplay standard, like you have to beat the other person up, okay? But to do that, you'll be using generic resources. So it's been popular again, like when you play games now, like you don't have dedicated resource materials in your cards. No, what you do is you can chunk cards that you don't like into the
Mm.
resource pool,
Yep.
and then you use those to basically summon creatures. So this is Star Wars to recruit them, and then the other nice thing about this is it's a one action per turn game. So you play a card, pass to the other person, back and forth until both passes, until to the next round. So there's small innovations, but the thing about it is it's not too complicated how it tries to become a new card game.
Right.
It still feels familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I immediately am enamored about it because what's I mean, aside from yay, it has heroes. Yay, it
Star
has
Wars.
those resources that you face down. So you get that early. It what I always like about that concept, where I would have to let go of a card in order for me to increase my
Mm.
resource, is already a decision of
Yes.
sorting.
Mm.
What is my priority? Can I use this now? Do I want to use this later? Do I want to hold it? If it's not really useful for this game with this matchup, I can use it as a resource. Oh, I really need this. So I'm gonna have to choose. My opponent hasn't done anything, and I'm already
Mhm.
thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the constant thing about these type of games. And I've always loved it in World of Warcraft, and now to see it in the Star Wars universe, yes. So yeah, actually, it really made sense, and I wish they did it sooner. But I am excited to try out the pre-cons. And for BAECON, you guys
Yeah.
have
Can we draft?
Yeah, we'll probably
We'll
draft
probably
that.
there you go. So if you guys want to try Star Wars Unlimited, you can uh, join the draft that we will run on BACON itself. Okay, me, well, aside from I've kind of have been playing the same
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Lord of the
Lord of the Rings trick taking game.
Lord of the Rings taking game.
Solo?
No, no, not solo. I played it uh, with some people, but the one I haven't really played fully, but I started to learn it is Invincible, the hero building game.
The one you
So
just unboxed.
Yeah.
yes, so
Unbox and
Invincible,
played.
yeah. So Invincible is a the comic book series that was 2003. I was surprised how
Yeah.
long ago this IP was, and then Amazon Prime has a
Animation
animated
animated
series,
series.
and it's fantastic,
Mm.
a bit gory, but the board game version is not. But it's the mechanism, so it's a cooperative uh, game, and then it's bag building. So you're pulling cubes from the bag. You have and it's simultaneous. We're both pulling at the same time. All of you are pulling at the same time, and you have a chance to bust. So if you have six black cubes, then your turn is over.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you just slot those cubes into different actions. So thwart enemies, attack minions, uh, uh, do other things. And once you're done, everybody has passed for the round, and you've destroyed some enemies, saved some pedestrians, some people because they could be in danger
Mhm.
or in the safety. If they're already in danger, they become in danger again. They become a casualty. So once you're done, you look at your board and you see all of the places that has this resource icon, and that's your buying power. To then upgrade new cards or add new cubes and modify
Mm.
your bag. So I'm well, good IP, and then I saw it was Dire Wolf. I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yes, terrible.
it's like I almost bought it first before before I
Try
have
to know
to
anything
learn
about it.
how it's like it's gonna be okay. Good IP, Dire
Yeah.
Wolf, deck building, let's go, that's fine.
Mm.
So that was my recent game. And you, Sir Freddy?
The past week I've played mainly miniatures games. So I played Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings. I played Marvel Crisis Protocol, but I've been trying to learn Halo Flashpoint.
Ooh,
So
ooh,
I
I
already
saw. I'm
managed to paint
excited.
the miniatures, and
Oh,
then
okay.
maybe by this weekend I'll be ready to teach people how to play it.
Yay.
And I've been looking and watching a lot of videos about a new game from Renegade.
Oh,
It's called Unstoppable because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
made by John D. Clare.
wow.
I know John. I don't know if a lot of but I like the designs of John D.
Right,
Clare.
right, right.
His designs are not always the best when it comes to like being easy to play,
Mm-hmm.
but I like how he innovates. So I'm kind of excited. I haven't played it. It's not yet out, but so I've been watching a lot of videos about it. So
Nice.
that's pretty much it
And
for
it's a
my
1 to 2 player game.
yeah.
That
So it's
was
like
really interesting for me.
it's
One
interesting
to
because
two.
it's not his usual. It's not the way he usually makes his games.
Cool, cool. But it is a card game
Mm,
slash board game. There are some components.
Card game, I think, with a lot of John D. Clare
Ah,
mechanics.
okay, okay. Interesting, interesting.
So
Cool.
you build your deck, you build your card,
Oh,
kind of like that.
nice, 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 nice. Awesome. Okay, excited to see that. How about you, Daryl? What have you been playing lately?
Uh, still playing some Japanese games that I brought back.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I can't actually remember. I have a bunch from Fuda Koma Games.
Oh, okay, okay.
You can see that on the ABGF website also.
Okay, okay. Let
Yeah.
me pull up your website. So, okay. So what? This is. Oh, sorry. Oh, ABG. ABG.
Yeah, ABGF. Asian Board Game Festival. Asian Board Game.
Okay. Uh,
AsianBoardGamesFestival.com.
I guess maybe we can start there. Oh, and have some facts. My niece loved Copy King, hoping to get a copy of Walk and Roll for my expanding my dice collection. There, thank you.
Yeah, okay. since that topic has been brought up, so check out the comments section for this stream. We're going to put a link where if you're going to Bacon, you can place pre-orders, and we will send them to Origame.
Yeah.
And so if you pre-order using that link, you will be assured that you will get your copy.
Yes.
If not, then good luck if you're going to get
Yeah.
a copy
Well, yeah,
for Bacon.
yeah, because what happened with last year, and we've been talking about it for the past few episodes already. And yeah, even yesterday's show with Denmark, he was saying, oh, because as advocates, we're always running around teaching games, and he saw Buffet Boss. He was like, okay, I'll get that. Let me just teach some people.
Mhm.
And then by the end of the convention, end of the day, he was gonna buy it. It's like no more
No
buffet
more
bus.
buffet.
What do you
Yeah.
mean no
And
more? It's like no more stuff. All done.
that's
Except
something that we've been having problems with actually, because now we have so many titles, so there's always games that are out of stock. Actually, now, ironically, now Copy King is out of stock, but Walk and Roll came back. The reprint is in, but then now, yeah,
Do we do we have the link ready already?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll share it
okay,
on the
yeah,
comment section of this live stream so that people can start placing pre-orders with Origame.
okay.
So they'll make sure that they'll have the copies for you.
yeah,
Please make sure to use that link, and then we'll also make that link available on a separate post aside from just putting it in the comment
yeah,
section today. So please use this Google
It's a drive.
Oh, it's
is
the wrong one. The wrong one.
oops, okay. We almost sent the wrong link.
It's this one.
Yeah, hold on.
So if you want any specific game that is currently available with the Origames inventory, please place an order and then they will make sure that you get it during Bacon.
yeah. We will also take orders from Asian Board Game Festival games
Mm.
if it's
Yeah.
possible. Yeah,
So you can also check out the ABGF site,
Yep.
Asian Board Games Festival
yeah,
site.
which you have
If
up right
there's a
now.
specific yeah, if there's a specific game that you want, uh, that is there, which is not necessarily
Out of stock.
out of stock.
Yeah,
Yes.
For example, Cat Between Us.
That's out of stock.
Be out of stock, but
No, no,
before we
no.
left.
I think we will have stocks of that by Bacon.
But it does Daryl know? Like how fast her cat between us stopped when
I don't know.
Oh, oh,
I don't really talk about stuff like that.
oh, we hyped up. We hyped up between us.
it's a fee.
Okay, so what? So we're already here. People, you can check out the website. And, so Asian Board Game Festival. I think maybe we're jumping a bit, but Asian Board Game Festival is how we met. At least how I met you, Daryl, because you
yeah,
invited us. Um, Larong Atin to join the Asian Board Game Festival. Uh, how did this festival start? I know Origame is your publishing company, but on
yeah.
top of that, you run ABGF, an Asian Board Game Festival, and you're inviting designers and publishers across Asia, in
Yes,
also all over the world. That's yes, that's true. But that's Asia under. Yes.
Australia,
yeah, from Australia too.
Asia Pacific.
Yeah, Asia
Okay, okay.
Pacific. I think so it's something that we started, I think, 2019. So I was helping um a convention called Game Start Asia.
Mm.
I helped them invite um different publishers from Asia to come for Game Start Asia. But actually, Game Start Asia is a digital game event.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually wanted to. I mean, and then since everyone was in town already, I was like, hey, why don't why not the day before we run our own board game event?
Oh, okay, okay.
Just pure board games. And so that was the very first ABGF was on a Friday night in 2019.
Okay, okay.
Um, yeah, and then the funny thing is, I mean, it was still it was kind of last minute, but it's still quite a lot of people who came out. I think like
Mhm.
maybe 300 people at least. Uh,
No,
and
that's how to start.
yeah, and
The funny thing with
and
that event, I went to Game Start Asia, and then while I was at Game Start Asia, I heard, hey, there's also this other event, ABGF. Like, hey, I would have wanted to go there, but I didn't know about it. But I was at Game Start Asia, and then that's my story for 2019 with ABGF. I heard it
yeah,
about it
you just
most
missed
of
it
it.
basically.
Yeah, I missed it.
Um, yeah, and the sales from that pre event was almost the same as like the sales for GameStart Asia. So um,
Nice.
I thought there was a lot of potential. And then just seeing everyone play games from Asia. I mean, and it just happened that everyone was from Asia. So even the very first ABGF, I had Sashi um,
Mm.
there, and then I had Smoots from Taiwan, and a couple others. So we really had at least like 4 countries um, or regions there. Uh, so and then in 2020, we wanted to do an even bigger one. I think at that time, GameStart. I I mean, the funny thing was, I think 2019 was the last GameStart Asia also.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, 2020 I wanted to do a big ABGF, but you know,
Yeah.
COVID happened.
Mhm.
So, so we restarted in 2022, and then 2023, and 2024. So this year will be our 5th anniversary, I guess.
Nice, 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 nice. Um, well, yeah, actually, that's a fantastic way to start.
Yeah.
Immediately have publishers. Um, well, we had kind of us. That was it. But even in the beginning, it wasn't. It was really a community thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess in that case, we can segue to how you got into tabletop design and publishing. Where did Origame start?
Uh, so we started also about 5 years ago. Um,
Okay.
2019,
Oh, I see. I
2019,
see.
2019. Actually, yeah, 2019 was when we started. Um, so we are exactly 6 years old in March. We,
Oh,
yeah,
happy anniversary.
thank you. Uh, and we have about, I think, 20 games now. I always lose
Yes.
track, but about 20 games. I mean, if we haven't hit 20 yet, we'll definitely hit it this year.
Yeah, yeah, and we're a big fan of your games. So you and so this is Origame. Uh, we're pronouncing it correct, right? It's not. It's
Sure.
Origame,
I
right?
mean, origami is also acceptable. Origami, that's fine also.
Mhm.
Oh, I can see you guys also have some events in your website. So there's a farm to tabletop player treat here.
Yeah,
So for
so that's something
those,
that we started last year for our 5th anniversary. It's like a
yes,
board game
yes.
event, and
Okay,
then
okay.
I mean we're always thinking of new things to do. That
Mhm. So you started. Why? How did you get inspired to get into to tabletop
Game design.
game design and all the way
Publishing.
to publishing? Because
Yeah.
normally. That's not an easy task to do.
Yeah, so I've been designing games for much longer than 6 years. I
Okay,
think
okay.
think sometime around 2008, maybe
Hmm.
20 around 2008. I
Oh,
started
okay.
getting into board game design. That was when I was living in Canada. So my first board game community was in Canada. I was living in Ottawa at the time, and I was very lucky to have a huge, um, well, I won't say huge, but a very dedicated community that um, was able to kind of bounce ideas off and grow together. Um, and that group has a lot of uh, published designers also. So and then so yeah, so that's like maybe 15 years ago. So one thing that that strong community and game designers coming together, um, ga- um, I guess gamers getting together to really kind of help to contribute to this design community to make really good games. That's kind of what I wanted to bring back with me to Asia, to Singapore. Um, there are some, when I came back to Asia, I think like Taiwan was, you know, that was one of the places that I really felt they had quite a very strong design scene with lots of game designers.
Mhm.
And actually in Southeast Asia, I think the Philippines is also is probably the biggest one.
Really?
Mhm.
I mean, from
Oh, I don't feel
I,
it.
I mean it's just because Southeast Asia, everyone is really starting from
Yeah,
scratch. So
yeah,
I see, I
that's
see, I
true.
see, I see what you
That's
mean.
true.
yeah,
See. But our experience with ABGF, because it's held in Singapore, I think we really felt the very welcoming atmosphere, especially for designers. Like everyone is excited to try out other countries' games. It's
yeah.
not only just so.
I think in Asia, because a lot of people are just starting out. Um, so every game company, even the biggest ones, uh, like we kind of like indie publishers, right? So it's quite difficult to like. I think things are changing now, but like Singaporeans may not necessarily support Singaporean games. For example, um, I'm sure you feel the same way. Like in the Philippines,
Yeah.
just because it's a Filipino game, conversely, people may be, oh, it's a Filipino game, so maybe I'm going to skip over it. Uh, and
Yeah.
yeah, but in Singapore, then maybe like a Singaporean, if the Singaporean crowd may be like, oh, actually, I like the Philippines. Maybe let's try some games from the Philippines. Let's try games from Malaysia. And even though ironically, like a Malaysian would not play a game from Malaysia, but they play a game from Singapore also. So I think just and then also being exposed to lots of different design styles, um, because board game design, I think one of the fun things about it is you can always put your personality in, you can always put your your culture in, you can put your stories in. Um, Over time, when you play a lot of games from a certain country, you can kind of feel, like you can actually feel that design community behind it. You can feel that uh the what maybe what people from that country like. um I think that's the cool thing about ABGF, and I think that that's why so many countries wanted to hold a ABGF. So we had one in Malaysia in 2024, and then we
Mhm.
and that one was so successful that we're holding it again this year, and it's probably going to be every year. And we also had one in Bangkok in 2023. And the great thing is that the ABGF of each country is also very different because the mix of designers and publishers will always be very different. Because every ABGF, I think the the independent game designers of that country will find it much easier.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, board game designers are very poor, so they cannot really travel to many countries to
Agree with this one.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and I think having the the vocabulary and the breadth of having different cultures, different origins, experiences in the very least, uh, gives us this very wide
Hmm.
appeal and an amazing variety, but also at the same time still feels variation. Like I get,
Yeah.
here you go, Jakarta traffic. We all understand. Yes, Asia traffic, got it. Right? Um, and this there are themes that are very recognizable across uh, and, and the art style also. There's also some similarities there.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely that's one thing that is also very interesting. Like every country has an art style that you can sell in that country.
yes, yes. And so, okay. Um, so ABGF is something you just kind of started out of, hey, maybe we can just try this out, and now it worked. You have this passport. Did that? When did that start? So the passport is this to the ones who don't know yet in ABGF. When you join, you are given this passport that has the flags of every country, and now every publisher that participates is given a stamp. And so you go to the publisher, try out the game, and then you get the stamp. So when did
Yeah,
this start?
I think I think even as yeah, I think the first real ABGF, which is 2022, that we already started that. Um, I think it's because we wanted people to pay attention to not just all the different publishers, but also the different places that they come from. Because I think
See,
that
see.
yeah, I think that helps people to remember the publishers also, um, and also helps build a narrative, and lets them kind of remember, or maybe you know the certain games from this country, uh, and then certain games from that country. Um, I mean, games are also meant to be universal. So I mean, I don't. I think you can find games you know that appeal to everyone from every country, and sometimes if the theme is not very generic, it can be from any country,
Well,
right?
I mean, your Copy King
Hmm.
has been localized or at least sort of branded with other countries because the in Singapore the culture is on the hawker
Copy cam.
center
Yeah.
and the kopitiam, and then others might prefer more on the bubble tea side.
Hmm.
So then the Taiwan has the bubble tea king, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
And so, and in every Asian country, there's this specific way we like our drinks and sweets and
yeah,
things like that. And the mechanism is same, or you're for copying, it's a simultaneous real time game where you're trying to complete all of these recipes. You're looking at all of these cards, trying to complete those recipes, and you're trying to race for points. And it's always these delicious drinks that you would see at the coffee jam or hawker center, and then if it's bubble tea, then it's a different drink mix and whatnot. And that's relevant to every country in some sense, but because of the temperature and how Asia is built, there there's an additional appeal. Sure, there's drinks in Europe, but there will be more on the mixers, right? The liquor
Yeah,
and things. For us, we really are enjoying that bubble tea or that sugarcane watermelon lychee drink, and
yeah,
or the Milo dinosaur, of course, the classic. Um, but your games, what's really what I appreciate about it, like you said in the beginning, um, Singaporeans may all be a little bit more interested in foreign games, but a lot of your games actually are very Singapore centric. So, Oh My Orchids is
Mhm.
about the national flower of Singapore. Uh, a lot of the
Copy King,
Kopi King,
and then
the
so
Chop, which is a very Singapore.
yeah, I didn't even know what it was. Like, what's this about?
Even durian there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Durian Das,
And then the rainforest game also.
Rainforest Game.
One of the things I really like about how Origame produces stuff is there's always this part of the rule book that's basically a guide to like what's the context of this. In Singapore, that's what happens. Like, yeah, when you show when there's a tissue paper, table napkin on the air, don't go there. Somebody already has that space. There's like we always make space for the culture, to be presented in the rule book. So it's just really part of the game. Sure. So we found it. Oh, there you go.
yeah.
And
I think that um, making fun games, of course, that's the main thing. But if you can make a fun game that kind of links back to stories that you can tell, um, I think that makes it even more meaningful. So a lot of these games, not only can you just enjoy them at face value as games, um, but you will remember them because there's a story behind it. you know,
Mm.
the it's part of a Singaporean culture. It's part of like a weird part of of a weird custom that Singaporeans that's part of Singaporean
oh
life.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know because you do that here. You leave a tissue paper, tissue packet.
They'll take it.
They'll just take it.
Yeah, it's free.
And no, no, the likelihood of them throwing it away
Oh yeah.
is
yeah.
higher. They're
In
just
in
gonna go,
in Singapore, people even leave like wallets
yeah.
and yeah, they leave wallets, they leave phones because that's how safe it is in Singapore.
Yeah,
Like if you leave a
since we're
wallet and a
talking,
phone, people are less likely to throw it away. But
yeah, they'll probably here in the Philippines, they'll probably keep it. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it won't a few minutes.
yeah. Since we're talking about the themes of your games,
yeah.
are you the kind of designer that comes up with a theme first or a game design concept first?
I do both.
Mhm.
And I mean recently I've been kind of trying to design games based on feelings that I want people to experience actually. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, like I don't specifically always do themes or just
Mhm.
mechanics. Um, I always have a whole bunch of mechanics in my head and a whole bunch of themes in my head. And whenever I find a fit, that's when I know I've caught a fish and then I need to reel it in.
I see, I see. So
Yeah,
that's your design, sort of like a design process, was when you have connected the feeling with a mechanic,
yeah.
or then you'll start to flesh it out. What is the Origame's design process? So I see your name in every title. So are you the main
Yeah.
designer, the other designers?
Yeah, I mean, I design all the games.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, the studio is actually just meant for me to release my games, and over time, uh, I started to take on more responsibilities too. I I also do the art direction. Um, I I do all the research. Uh, I I mean, I also try to scout for games that would would be good in our line. Um, but I mean, I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to to publish other designers too. But I I feel that if it's already a good game, like if a good game from another Asian designer, there are many other publishing companies that they can set, you know, publish at. I I much more prefer working with other game designers, like maybe maybe if they have like half an idea, and then I can help them bring that half an idea to fruition, and then we can kind of co-publish a game together. I think that's more meaningful because I think my strength is more in the game development part. Just because I have so much experience now, pushing 15 years. So I think the biggest difference between the West and the East in terms of the board game industry, to me the biggest difference is the strength of their game development. So in the West, you have so many professional board game developers, but in
Mm.
Asia, you barely see any. Like even in Japan, where you see
Yeah.
like there's so many game designers, I would say probably thousands. Um, I can only think of maybe less than 10 good game developers.
And I got to experience this personally when I published Folded Wishes. And so I had an idea.
Mm.
It's not even called Folded Wishes when it started. It was just the framework. And Sir Freddy was bringing it along in his meetups when he went to the States. And then somebody picked it up. I was introduced, and then I was
Yeah.
informed that you'll be working with a developer, and you're going to go through this process. And then I saw what a game should look like.
Yeah.
Because it's like, ah, I had an idea,
Yeah.
but when developers go through it, it's like as if they will bring it back down to almost nothing, and then
Yeah,
reconstruct it again. But you know that it still is that game, but it's just been so it has bloomed, it has aged correctly, it has uh, expanded itself and contracted itself correctly to the point where it's
Mm-hmm.
really something that stands out. That is, it's something that will work on the market. It's not just a cool idea. It's now something that can kind of stand the test of time and
Mm-hmm.
work in the market. And to be honest, as a designer, it's something I still have to learn
Yes.
mm,
because it's like I'm not that confident that I can flesh out everything because the developers really has this sort of in between industry and design view that is quite unique as compared to just being a designer. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, there are some designers there like you who can do the full stack because you've already had the experience.
yeah,
The driven games, Ryan Lockhart is always like one of those. They always mention that it's sort of like everything from A to Z on game design and publishing.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, you also have to learn where your talents are, and I really valued my experience then.
Mm.
My developer for Golden Wishes was John Brigger, and yeah, it's like, oh, okay,
Mm.
that's how you're supposed to do it. Got it, got it, got
Yeah,
it.
and I think what I've seen with Asia, and specifically in the Philippines, what we've had to do was really pretty much do everything ourselves because
Mhm.
we really don't have that experience
Yep,
or that industry to begin with.
yep.
So when we started out, we were just like, oh, doing random stuff. Not really random because
We
we
tried
we
to
tried,
we
but
tried to be
yeah.
sensible.
So
Yeah,
we're just learning everything.
yeah. I
But
mean,
when we have a chance to work with people from overseas, that's where we do
Yeah,
get a lot of
yeah.
learnings.
That's when we get real feedback
Mhm.
and real ideas of how to grow and flesh out a game design.
I think every country in Asia has to kind of start from nothing, right? Because every market is different. Every talent base is different. Every designer base is different. Uh,
Mhm.
I think that's what's good about ABGF. We get to meet, you know, people who are going through the same growth
Mhm.
process as we all are. Um, I mean, maybe Singapore is slightly further along than Philippines, but it's not like we're that much further along either, you know. And also we're going to hit. I mean, our population is also much smaller. I mean, I think we what's good is I think yeah, every country has its plus and minuses in terms of like if I would start a board game publisher here, I mean Singapore. I mean, I think the benefit is we a lot of people here have been playing games for many years because of English and also because I think our standard of living here has gotten to the point where people are actually um, wanting wanting to play games together as families. Um, that's a luxury that you know the rest of Southeast Asia probably that doesn't have yet. I mean that's kind of why I wanted the main ABGF to still be here. But then you have for example Thailand. Uh, like in just like 5 years, the board game industry has grown like faster than any board game industry
Mhm.
I've seen around the world. And there's so many interesting stories from every different Asian country. Um, and I think it's great to like the people listening and the people coming to these first few conventions. I think it's great they can actually say that they have their feet on the ground floor.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
I mean when you're just building that first level, the only way you can go is up.
Agree, agree. And I mean, when BAECON started 2017, it was uh, purely community driven. There was around 10 groups that we were running different 10 cities. But we were running different game nights on, and then we just said, if you bring 10, you bring 10 of your people, that's 100. So we have a convention. Let's try it out, and it worked. And we've been doing it ever since. It only stopped during the pandemic, just like what happened with you. But um, it's grown to a point now that we have this nice venue.
Mm.
80 Missouri. It's in the middle of the metro. The mall is just there, and we have the whole place for us. And me looking back, 5, 7 years ago, I don't think. I mean, I didn't see this to
Yeah.
where it is today, and where it's going next is also quite interesting because in the sense like what you said, we're building some groundwork,
Mhm.
foundation work. And we're also seeing a lot more industry people also trying it out, from video games to board games to RPGs. They're also voicing out and creating their own footprint and trying to also again progress the narrative about tabletop gaming in general and in the whole Philippines. And I think that's great because again it helps everybody in the whole. And but we are very grateful to everyone who helps us out. This is really a volunteer driven event, and having the publishers really you when when you went here from last year, and now we are also expecting a few more Asian designers coming in.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's exciting, and you can see your fans. You know, they're already asking like, "Hey, is there something like Secret Flower again? Is there something new there that you guys are?" Yes. Fred is one of the your advocates for Secret Flower. It's his favorite game, I think,
Yeah.
for 2024.
Interestingly enough,
Thanks,
Secret
thanks.
Challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I like the game a lot too. So, the uh, good or bad news is the bad news is we don't have any more Secret Flower as is. But the good news is we will be making a new version with
Oh,
with proper artwork, and I will expand it to 20 cards. And there will
Also,
be sorry.
for context for the viewers, Secret Flower originally is just a convention game.
Oh,
Yeah, convention
It was meant to
exclusive.
be the
A
reward
gift.
for
Yeah.
finishing the passport. So it wasn't even like
It's
a
not
game.
something that was. It wasn't sold.
Yeah,
It was a reward for
finishing the passport.
finishing the passport at ABGF.
and everybody's going like,
Where can I buy this?
This game is
yeah.
quite
This is the best game that you can't buy.
This is absolutely yes. Would
But we do have the 2024 game, which is Secret Guardians.
Secret Guardians, yeah.
I actually like Guardians more. If only because
Yeah.
I played.
So
Yep.
apparently
So
there's a group in the Philippines now called the Secret Flowerists.
wow. Yeah, I've heard there are some fans in Australia too of the game. They told me they played it. They played it for like one whole weekend, so they played like 50 times in a row.
I mean,
Uh,
just you know your game is good if it
Yeah.
can last more than
50
three
plays.
games.
Yeah.
50 plays. That it, the only one I've heard that has that replayability level is like the things like Avalon.
Yeah,
Like,
the party.
the ones who are just so those are the types, and yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's Secret Guardian was our most played game at Campus Playfest, I think.
Yeah, in one of our events, like,
Yeah.
we just kept on playing Secret Guardian.
Yeah. In between
Second
demos.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Okay.
I mean the yeah, in Japan also I think there's like a small cult following. So I mean because so many people like it, we are actually going to reprint it, and we're going to make a nice version with like probably like pens and like a good way to kind of
Right.
uh
Right.
write stuff down.
No, but you don't play it with you just rely on memory.
Really bad memory.
When I play, I would bring out like cubes and other things, and then I would be marking things just so that because we're on detective mode.
Yeah.
The best
Releasing
way
it.
to play that other people have taught me is to take a photo of the back of the card, and then you just cross it off on your phone.
Ah. Nice.
So yeah, but that's actually what we will do with the 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 actual version. Yeah,
We even
because
have okay, cool.
yeah, but yeah, I mean last year's game is also a bit of deduction, uh a bit of luck, a bit of logic. So if you like the Secret Flower, you may like Secret Guardians.
Personally,
Yeah, me
Oh, you,
too. I like Secret Guardians
I like
more.
meeting people.
oh really? So Yeah, so that's something to look forward to if you did like Secret Flower.
There you go. So, Fred, pre-order Secret Garden. The link is in the chat and the stream. Um, they can pre-order it, right?
The
Yes.
The
Guardian.
Secret Garden.
Yeah, so that's actually the pre-order special. If you buy any two games, we will throw one in for free.
So it's
Oh my
still
God!
not something you can buy.
So it's still
You have
not
to buy
something
something else.
you have
Yeah,
to
still not something
buy.
you can buy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's more like we don't feel good charging people for it.
Yeah, because it's such a small game.
Yes, it is, but it packed
Yeah.
Yeah.
a fantastic punch. So, and um, so
Oh, hello, Abigail.
so in terms of do you see? So I know you already are doing ABGF Penang, uh, and there were other ABGF. Do you see that the Philippines could be a destination for ABGF?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, I think the design community is quite strong. Uh, if anything, it's maybe the lack of many independent publishers. I think that one Philippines probably still has a way to go. So for example, like I think even in Malaysia and Indonesia, there are a lot of like kind of small independent publishers that uh just kind of publish their games on the site. Because that's kind of how the industry starts, anyways. Uh, it's great that Larong Atin is kind of taking away the pain of a lot of designers by, you know, publishing a lot of Filipino designers' work. That helps a lot. Um, but it's nice to see multiple publishing companies. Um, like yeah, like you like for I think the extreme case is in Japan, for example, where every game market you can see people even just like hand make games,
Mm.
like they will print it on their home printer and maybe make like a 50 or 100 copies and just bring it to sell, and that's kind of that creates a very unique culture that you can't find anywhere else. uh
Because I think the power of that is that when there are more people who are in essence investing to push the industry. So not only from here's a design, let's
Mhm.
get it out there to okay, I have to market my game. I have to build a
yeah
community on my game. It's not gonna sell on its own. It's not gonna um, magically just work. There actually are some very casual market that are really quite successful.
yeah
We were talking about it a while ago. One of the most successful Filipino game design that is super mass market. The name of the game is called Susuka pero di susuko. In English, it's I'm gonna throw up, but I'm not gonna give up.
okay
And it's a drinking game. It's a deck of cards, and you open it, and it tells you take a shot, or tell the person beside you to take a shot, or
mm,
somebody who has
Mhm.
recently called their mom take a shot, and whatever the challenge is. It's just a drinking game, and then they have different variations of it that works with your phone and other things, and they sell I don't know in the thousands
yeah
in their shopping store, and they even have resellers
Mhm.
that are still making money, and we're all going like, there you go.
Mhm.
yeah
In the Larong Atin line, the most popular one that we have actually is from Tom Regala,
Who good?
Hugon,
yeah
and that we were surprised in last year's ABGF because it had sales, right? Right?
Mostly from Filipino.
From Filipinos, but it's like
yeah
we're not that. this here? But people bought it. It's like that's not Singaporean that bought that, right? Because it's all in Filipino. But you're right. I think the more we
Mhm.
recognize, so when you guys come here and you share your knowledge with us, I think it will inspire more people to take on the mantle and
Mhm.
to try it out. And
Yes.
I think in the end, you're right. So we have already a very supportive community. I think that's what you've experienced from last
Yes.
year, where everyone is just
Mhm.
okay. You have a game, we want to try it. So I think there's you're right about that. There's need to be more uh, pe-
More people.
publishers,
Yeah.
more people to just echo that out. Here's my
Mhm.
design. Here's my idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it also would there's a few that are
Yeah.
very indie, and in fact for this
Yeah.
year,
There's some. Although we've taken them under our wing, under Ludus and Larong Atin, but they are an independent
yeah,
publisher. Tailcraft.
yeah,
They'll also have a table at BAECON.
That
yeah,
will be our guest for next week.
Yeah, they'll be our guest for next week. And then there's some people who are doing their own stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, so,
yeah,
we'll probably see some of them at BAECON.
Yeah, Unpub will be there too. So
Yeah.
a lot of the people who just want to try out, like showing their designs, will be there as well.
I think
Mhm. Yeah, but nowhere near the same level as like what we've seen in
Yeah,
Singapore.
like they're not publishers yet.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say they're like
Yeah. We just need like
yeah,
they probably just need a boost of confidence in
yeah,
design. Like if they can show it to the world and then people like
yeah.
oh wait,
if you have reception
yeah.
and you have conversion, it
Mhm.
eventually will inspire people. Hey, maybe we can get into this, right?
Yeah.
So I guess our ask also for viewers and for the ones who will be attending Bacon, aside from trying out and uh, yes, there you go.
Yeah.
One of the designers is actually the head of Balangay Entertainment and runs his own studio, so Nico, and he still is publishing his own games
Mhm.
that is not
Yeah.
necessarily uh, it it would help if there are in the similar line or similar size as Ludus, who's pushing the game, similar to how it is with Singapore. I think that would definitely power up the industry even more because again, it's not only just bringing in foreign games and then selling;
Yep.
Yeah.
it's now creating
Yeah.
value from
Yep.
local and
That's really the main driver for me. When Ron came to me and then had this idea, it was at its core a belief that yeah, we can develop our own Filipino designers and we can make games in the Philippines that can become world class. Of
Mm.
course, it's a work in progress, and then I think we've been seeing some success.
Yeah.
We've had two games that have been published overseas, so I think that's a uh, good enough progress, I guess,
yeah.
Indicator.
indicator that we're headed
And
at least
hopefully
headed in the right direction.
it inspires
Yeah.
more industry
Mm.
people to
Yeah,
actually pick it up.
like I always say, the only reason we don't really have competition in the publishing side here yet in the Philippines is because I'm not making money on it.
There's so
Mm.
so
So that's why there's no competition because there's really but the moment I see somebody else seriously doing the same things we're doing on the publishing side,
you should
that's
also feel
probably
it.
yeah, I will also feel it because that means the reason why we have other publishers here is because it's an industry that's already making money.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a good sign.
Yeah.
I think one one big similarity between Philippines and Singapore is because our markets all can read English.
Mhm.
There's no reason for us to localize games. As opposed to say Korea
Yeah.
or Japan. So in those countries, they have publishing companies that um
Mm.
that
Yes, that's true.
like yeah, for example, the
Yeah.
Korea board games, for example, they started off,
Yep.
like localizing,
Localizing.
like say like Monopoly even,
Yep.
I see, I
and
see,
so
I see.
just from the sales of this, you can actually grow. Like you have companies that have all this money now because they're making products
Yes, that's true.
that sell. Then
Mm.
they can let me spare some money to try to go and scout
Mm.
and get local publisher local designers and try to um you know
Mm.
develop the games and things like that. Yeah, we don't actually have that luxury of being able to localize games and then
Yeah.
have that money to kind of offset the R&D to develop the
Mm.
local industry, right? We need to do it at the same time. We need to kind of bootstrap.
Yes.
um
Yeah, that's a very good observation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also came to that conclusion of why, because I really, for the longest time, I really could not understand the need to localize anything for the Philippines. But like I said, the only reason to localize would be is just to get the volume discount
mm,
for countries like the Philippines. And even then, actually, our market here would still probably prefer the English rules.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, but I think there is an appeal to localization,
Mm.
especially if it's not just simply the language localization. If there's a little
Yeah.
bit of a uh, sort of customizing to make it appealing or relevant to
Mhm.
the local market. So I think if we want to do localization, it might be in that line where we look at how to make it relatable to the local markets.
yeah.
You look at the cup of coffee that these in Filipino
Yeah,
context.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think those are the ones we are definitely exploring. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, in a way, like Hugot is kind of like a localization of Cards Against Humanity or something like that. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Although it's funny it's the same snake oil,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
publishing
mechanic.
game versus this the 180-degree version of Cards Against Humanity.
And
It's kind of
but even
small.
even Cards Against Humanity stole it from apples to apples, so I think it's
Exactly,
fair.
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Apples to apples and then snake oil.
Yeah.
It's the same sales pitching game, just different themes. But you can who got his
I think it is closer to Snake Oil than Cards Against Humanity, because Cards Against Humanity, you don't really need to sell your idea. The idea is pre-built.
yeah,
The joke is
you
pre-built
just
into
choose
the
which
statements.
is the
Yeah.
funniest joke. So it's really more like a snake oil
Yeah, it's
approach
really
where you have
closer.
to
You
pitch
have to
your
pitch
joke.
your joke.
But in this case, the Filipino culture about it is sort of this
Like
self
art like,
satire,
yeah,
pain, making
yeah,
fun of your pain. Which I tried to say the joke in English. It was sort of funny.
yeah, but it there's
It
something that's different.
doesn't hit the same.
Mm.
It doesn't hit the same. But yeah, that's really good insight. We're gonna try. So, part of our sponsors is Spaceport. So this is the place we are in, and they are a creative collaboration space. And more likely for BAECON, we'll also do some streams and content with you. And so if people want to join and ask you more questions or consult with you, I think it's the best time for them to approach. Aside from trying out your games, so Overpart is already you're probably also bringing it in. My favorite game, Choco Block, because I had to try it. So,
So Choc a Block actually is already sold out. Uh,
oh, yeah, but yeah, I understand. It is too adorable. It's too adorable, and it's also when they're playing Choco Block, they're going like, "This game shouldn't make me think this much at
yeah.
this cuteness." They're all doing these zigzagging back and forth. Have been doing a lot of accounting whether they
It's a lot
can.
of push your luck.
Yeah. Well, in that case, there's a lot more of those cute box games that you have.
Nice to
Ice Cube.
the Reef game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
No, Mooncake. I actually like Mooncake.
okay.
Secret Flower will be in that box also. That yeah.
Into one secret bouquet. Okay. So, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Darren, for joining us. This is a fantastic conversation. And again, always a lot of amazing insight.
Yeah.
And so for everyone who is on stream and for the ones who will be watching this later, please join us on April 5 and 6, 80 Missouri, for BAECON 2025. Daryl and his crew is going to be there, and the rest of the other uh, Asian designers that are visiting us. And wait, next week there's a few more surprises. So we're still bringing in a few more designers that will join us this BAECON 2025. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be more fun, and we're excited to have you guys there. So, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yeah,
Dwayne.
see everyone there too.
Pre-orders are up.
Yeah,
Pre-order.
the link's in the comment section, but we will place another link on the page, and we might also place a link for Capital Games
Good fair.
and Good Spirit
Yeah.
Games.
I did.
And Jeff, thank you for joining. See you guys. The stream is just going about to end because we don't have an exit video.
And no outro.
Okay.
No outro.
Yeah,
See you
so
guys.
don't have an
Bye everyone. See you at BAECON.
Bye.